Hey guys, this is Mike T with Badfish SUP and Boardworks Surf. We're in downtown Salida with the famous Scout Wave behind me. Today what I'm going to talk about are a few things that I use, a few helpful hints to get on and off the wave to make surfing a little easier for you guys. Alright, first things first, we're going to talk about the necessary gear to get you guys surfing on the river. So obviously we've got our board here. So what I've got here is our River Surfer 8-foot and River Surfer 611. Both surf really well in the river waves. Next we've got, importantly, our releasable leash here. This is our Releash by Badfish and Boardworks. So releasable from your body. If you get snagged on something, you're going to clip it right on your PFD where you can grab it. Really important to have a releasable leash system. Next we've got our paddle, obviously, and then also importantly we've got our soft flex fins. So these are FCS soft flexes. Really important, we recommend those right off the bat so you don't break fins. Also, I've got this appropriate river gear. Depending on where you're at, you might need a dry suit or a wetsuit, helmet, PFD. Always make sure you have the appropriate river gear. And that's it. All right, a few river basics before we get you guys surfing on the river. When referring to the river, we're going to use river left and river right. So it's always as we're facing downstream when we're talking about the river. So river left's over there, river right's over here. Next we have the wave in the center where the current's moving downstream. Pretty obvious where the wave is in this spot here. We have the eddies on either side, river left eddy, river right eddy behind me. That's the generally calm spot of the river on the sides where we're going to use to get into the wave or exit the river. Lastly, we have these shoulders to the wave here, as you can see, feeding laterally into the wave there. We're going to use those when we're surfing onto the wave. So those are some river basics. All right, here's a few tips and pointers that are going to make it more successful for you to get on the wave every time. So the first thing I like to do is pick up speed from the eddy moving onto the wave. Really important to pick up a lot of speed as much as you can and maintain that momentum when you're busting across that wave shoulder onto the wave. Secondly, really important to pick the sweet spot when you're peeling onto the wave. So the sweet spot's going to be right in the middle of that shoulder. Think about putting the nose of your board right in the trough or the bottom of that wave. So if you go too high in the foam pile, you're going to fall off the back, or too far away from the wave, and you're not going to make it on. So really important to get right in that sweet spot, right in the middle of the shoulder. Lastly, it's really important to have the correct angle when you're busting onto the wave. So if you think about 12 o'clocks being directly upstream, depending on which side, river left or river right, you're coming in from, you're going to want to have 1 o'clock or 11 o'clock angle, keeping that angle really high so you basically slide right onto the wave. All right, so depending on your local spot and which side of the river you're coming in from is going to make a big difference whether you're regular or goofy. Ideally, goofy footers are going to be paddling in from the river left side. That way, as you're paddling in, you're going to be facing the wave. As opposed to that, on the river right side, if you're paddling in from there, regular footers have that advantage facing the wave as you're paddling into the wave. Sometimes you can't paddle in facing the wave, and what you're going to do is actually use your heel side. You're going to use a technique where you start in that neutral or that regular paddling stance and hop to surfing stance as you get on your heels. All right, so lastly, let's talk about exiting the wave. So when you exit the wave here, you're gonna be swimming in the river. So a couple different techniques to get you back safely to shore. First things first, you're either gonna get on your board, paddle it back to shore, or just start swimming and get to shore. Depending on your spot, one of those two scenarios is gonna be easier and faster to get you safely to shore. Lastly, you're gonna have to learn to deal with your paddle. Sometimes, if it's a good spot, we chuck our paddles to shore, swim really hard, and then we're right there with our paddle on shore. Or you can learn to swim with your paddle in one hand. You can backstroke, side stroke, and learn to effectively swim with your paddle in the hand. right, guys, once again, this is Mike T for Badfish, SUP, and Boardworks Surf. Thanks a lot for watching. Hope a lot of these tips are really going to help you guys succeed and, more importantly, have fun on the river. So check back to our Facebook pages and our websites for more tips and more videos soon. See you on the river.